You're about to witness two programs built on grit, history, and a hate for weakness.
Oh, my goodness. Just obliterated.
Trust me, they ain't about to play nice. It's Wisconsin and Michigan. Let's see who's really gonna show up. Man, I got a feeling today is gonna be a good day.
Yeah, and now that song's stuck in my head for the rest of the show. Delivery to kickoff, sponsored by Wendy's. Get your Wendy's faves delivered for game day. It is going to be a good day in Ann Arbor. Don't miss Ice Cube hitting stages across the country on his Truth to Power tour, where the iconic rapper celebrates 4 decades creating hit songs. His new album, Man Up, is out now and available to stream or purchase as we welcome you inside the 3rd largest stadium in the world, Michigan Stadium. There it is.
He said today is going to be a good day.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, Coach, you got this CD?
I already got that.
Oh, you already got that? Coach knows what's up.
I got 2 of them.
He knows what's up.
Charles Woodson rejoins the conversation right now. The strength of this Wolverine edition is clearly the run game, and it is led by Justice Haynes, Mark.
That's absolutely correct, Stone. You know I hated to see Justice Haynes leave Alabama, but his transfer to Michigan has worked out great for my fellow Deuce and the Wolverines. I caught up with him to talk about the change of scenery and his fast start to the season.
Bro, got the boy Deuce in this thing.
Yep.
You're from Georgia, started your career with the Crimson Tide. How would you describe your journey to this point?
It's not the journey that I envisioned for myself, but it's the vision that God had for me.
Yeah.
Going to Bama with high expectations, wanting things to obviously work out there. It just wasn't in God's plan. Like, he was preparing me for something bigger and greater, and he's still preparing me for great things.
Both our fathers played in the NFL, won Super Bowl. How did that shape who you are today?
I think that shaped a lot. You're gonna follow someone that you're gonna surround yourself with people that where you're trying to get. Right? I'm blessed enough to have that firsthand knowledge right there all the time. I can call my dad whenever and just talk to him, and we can talk about ball, but we can talk about anything. And I was really able to see how he worked.
And Haynes walks in.
If I need to go get a block for the quarterback to throw the ball or get a block to spring a runner free, I can go do that. If I need to go catch the ball in the backfield, I can do that. If I need to run you over, I can do that. If I need to outrun you, I can do that. If I need to make you miss, whatever you need me to do, I can do that. I can do it. I can do it. I can do what I need to do to get to that zone. So
yes,
I think that is the biggest thing that I took away.
Wait a minute. You're a Wolverine, Justice Haynes, the home run hitter of the backfield.
Now, you know I got to talk to you about the Deuce, man. You representing the Deuce. You making all the Deuces proud. Where did that number come from?
So I wore 34 my whole life. That was my dad's number.
Yeah.
And I kind of started thinking, like, my dad's legacy's cool, but, like, I want to be my own dude. So that's how I kind of adapted the 2-2.
Anytime you rock the Deuce, you know you got to get loose.
You gotta get loose. Deuce gotta get loose all the time.
And you holding the 2-2 down for sure.
Young men rumble.
Coach Ron Moore, you get him back this week. Wisconsin, Big Ten home opener. What can we expect?
When we came in the team meeting after Oklahoma, that's what we said. It's not the what, it's the how. It's the how we do things. It's the how we execute. The how we go about our business each and every day. You want to see a team that's hungry, coming off a bye, we feasting, ready to go to work. Just execute and do what we need to do. Handle our business. You'll see something special.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate you. Keep doing your thing, Tutu.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Boy, I appreciate you, dog.
Thank you.
Love. Thank you, brother. Love. Yes, sir.
Man, I had an amazing time with this young cat, man. He's a great young player. He has a great mindset, and he's running with a chip on his shoulder. You see the speed, the power, the agility, the big playability. He will have a big game today, and he'll be challenged against a great Wisconsin rush defense.
Yeah, the Wisconsin rush defense has been the one consistency thing for this team. They got to slow him down. Tough task. They got to slow him down. Force Bryce Underwood to have to throw the football to win today.
Our key to the game, that Michigan defense, we know Wink Martindale is going to be dialing up the pressures. You got a third-string quarterback in the game. We got to muddy the waters for that young man. We got to get him down early and often.
If Michigan wants to win a Big Ten championship and a national championship, we're going to find out if Bryce Underwood can do it with his arm. He's done it with his legs, but he's got to be able to play from the pocket, outside the pocket, throwing the football, Coach.
No one's talking about this pressure on this Wolverine coaching staff. The winningest program in college football history since the national title mark. They're 11-6. I know down the street in Columbus, you go 11-6.
Get out of there.
It's time. Now that's over. We learned what sign stealing was. We learned what
Hey, don't be putting that bad juju on that,
That's old news now. It's time to win some games.
Don't you do it.
It's a maze out here in Ann Arbor, but they're wearing all blue. Wolverines
I love that
set
all blue.
to take the field here inside the big house.
That's my favorite uniform, my favorite combination.
It's going to be a good day here in Ann Arbor. For the call, we take you upstairs. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. From the legendary Big House, Michigan Stadium, we've got Big Ten football for you here on Fox as the Wisconsin Badgers coming to town to take on the 20th ranked Wolverines from the University of Michigan. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt. And welcome to Ann Arbor, folks. Here's our first chance, me and him, to get a chance to see this young, talented quarterback, Bryce Underwood, who, by the way, is from the east side of Detroit, went to Belleville High School. And partner, I've been covering sports since 1987. This is the first time, didn't get a chance to cover LeBron, that everybody I've talked to that's an expert has said that not only is this kid a can't miss, but this kid got it, and it could come sooner than later.
I tell you, I've been so impressed with Bryce Underwood. He came in with so many expectations and so much pressure to be the guy here at Michigan. And you know what? He has delivered over the first 4 weeks. He's handled that pressure with a great amount of humility, class, poise, and performance. And I can't wait to see him here live. One of the things I've loved about seeing his development is seeing him get into the offense week one and then start to utilize that God-given ability as these games have piled up, utilizing his legs, showing up as a threat in the run game. And speaking of that run game, I'll tell you what, this Michigan team, they can tote that rock again. Justice Haynes transfers in, and this guy has been special. In fact, it's his home run ability that I've loved so much watching on tape. If he gets one little crease, he is gone. He's got speed to take it the distance, and I tell you what, we might see one here today.
All right, Hunter Simmons is now the quarterback for Wisconsin. Luke Fickell's team, they've been struggling a little bit. Lost their last 2 games at Alabama, and then in their last game at home against Maryland. And Coach Fickell is a tremendous coach.
Yeah.
He's just trying to figure things out right now.
And he's been submarined his 3 years here at Wisconsin because of these quarterback injuries, and he's still dealing with that here this year. So they're going to go with Hunter Simmons today. He started as the 3rd-string quarterback this year, but they feel like at 6'3" and 230 pounds, he gives them the ability to throw the football a little bit better. They love his arm. We'll see if he can execute in the passing game today. What Wisconsin really needs, though, is the strength of their team to show up and be great today. And the strength of their team is their rush defense. And if you're going to build a team to come in here and face the Wolverines, you better be stout against the run. That's exactly what Wisconsin can do. They're the country's best run defense, and they're going to have to be great early in this game in order to get Bryce Underwood, the phenom, the young quarterback, behind the chains and off schedule and off balance. If they can do that, maybe they can build an early lead in this ballgame.
Speaking of phenom.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Time to join the 3rd member of our team on the sideline, the AAG, the All-American girl, Jenny Tag.
Well, Gus, what an opportunity for Wisconsin quarterback Hunter Simmons today. I pulled him aside before warm-ups. He was all smiles, telling me I am so excited for this opportunity. I asked him, what is he most confident in? He said, all the guys around me, and the message from Coach Fickell was just go do it and lead this offense. But, guys, I feel like we need to talk a little bit more about a quarterback that you're excited about. He's only 18, and his name is Bryce Underwood. And head coach Sharon Moore, you know Bryce better than all of us. How would you like to see him make that next step with his development today?
Yeah, first of all, have fun, let it rip. We're going to be aggressive early and often, but just take care of the football, be a great leader, and enjoy the moment.
Coach, I know it was hard for you to be away from this team. What does it mean to be back on the sidelines coaching this group?
It means everything. It's like Christmas morning. I just opened up the best present in the world, so let's go let it rip.
How do you get it done today?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. Sherrone Moore back with the team this week after serving a 2-game suspension. Michigan won the toss, deferred. Wisconsin will receive. It's hot today, Joel Klatt, in the state of Michigan here in October. 82 degrees, sunny, warm, homecoming, amaze out. That's what they're calling it today. So Luke Fickell, head coach, trying to figure out what they need to do to improve and get on the winning side. Vinny Anthony is back deep. Beckman Sunderland will send it away. This is a series that goes all the way back to 1892. Michigan leads it, but the Badgers have won 2 of the last 3. And this went into the end zone for a touchback, so that will bring out Hunter Simmons.
Well, Hunter Simmons, like I said, he gives them a little bit better pocket presence. And when you look at what he was able to do late in the game against Maryland, he drove them for their only touchdown score of that game. During their bye week, because the other quarterbacks were banged up, Hunter Simmons got all of the reps, all the 1 reps, and they loved the way that he played in practice. He split those reps with Danny O'Neal this week. They felt like he was going to give them the best chance to win here today. And again, against this Michigan defense, you better be able to throw the football. And they feel like Hunter Simmons can do it.
Simmons, 7 of 9 for 70 yards and a touchdown against Maryland. That was his first action as a Badger after 3 seasons at Southern Illinois. Dylan Jones in the backfield. They'll give it to him on first down. He breaks it and picks up some very positive yardage. They'll give him 5 offensively for Wisconsin.
Well, this offensive line has also been banged up. Their starting center, Jake Renfro, is out today, so they're going to go with Davis Hinson. He comes in number 74. This is his first start at center. So we'll see about this quarterback-center exchange with guys that have not done it before together in a game. On the outside, you're looking at these backs. Dylan Jones, a downhill guy like that first run. They're going to need to run the ball early and try to stay on schedule against this defense.
2nd and 5 at the 30-yard line. Jones remains in the game. Kakahona in motion. Jones again with another hole, and he'll get close to that first down marker. And he may have it. Now they say he gets 4. Trey Pierce with the tackle defensively for Michigan.
Well, this defense has changed a little bit since the beginning of the season. Normally a middle linebacker, Jayshawn Barham, number 1, has moved down to the edge. They love their linebacker depth, but I tell you what, Jayshawn Barham, this guy can rush the passer. His get-off is exceptional. He's a game wrecker. He was in the backfield constantly against Nebraska. He's got 3 sacks.
Twitchy, violent, fast, and Wisconsin will pick up the first down with Dylan Jones.
Put him up.
And it's a 2-yard gain.
This is exactly what Wisconsin needs, is some good push from the interior of this offensive line, and they're able to get it on these defensive tackles and just get across that line to gain. One of the things that Luke Fickell was talking to us about this offense and some of their struggles that they've had, he lamented the fact that they've been constantly in long yardage situations and how they had to have success on first down in order to keep the quarterback in a good position.
First down and 10 of the 36. Simmons will throw it with time underneath. He's got his man, Chris Brooks. Brooks turns it up. Somebody lost a hat, and he picks up a first down in the process. A gain of 12.
Well, you're going to get a blitz from Michigan, which is going to leave the middle of the field vacated. And Simmons does a great job. He looks out to his outside, comes back, and he's right there with Chris Brooks. An easy completion and a good start here for this Wisconsin offense early in this game.
First down at the 48, opening series for Wisconsin. And second man through is Jones again. And Dylan Jones against Maryland, 6 carries, 20 yards. Got 154 yards rushing on the season, his second year with the bag.
Again, positive yards on first down. Keeping them on schedule at 2nd and 5. You can throw the ball. You can run the football. That's the best part about 2nd and 5. The best part also for a quarterback is you get to throw the ball when you want to rather than when you have to.
From the 47. the right side, it's Jones. And right now, this Wisconsin offensive line, they're moving people. Gain of 9.
Watch Mandel, the tackle here on the right side, and he's just going to mash down the defensive end for Michigan. They pull the fullback around, and it's an easy run over there on the outside. Nobody there in contain for Michigan. And again, Wisconsin running the football right at this Wolverines defense, which up to this point has been very stout against the run.
Emerson Mandel is the right tackle, and he just really moved Cameron Brandt. First down at the 38. Dupree in the backfield now. Simmons wants a throw underneath. Conservative toss, and it's caught. Lance Mason, his 15th grab of the season. It'll get 7.
Well, this Michigan team under Wink Martindale, their defensive coordinator, they've been more aggressive this year than they were in the back half of last year. You're seeing some pressures, already 2 or 3 pressures that we've seen on this series. And each time, Wisconsin was able to just stand up and hit the vacated area with the football. It's exactly what you should do in the passing game. We'll see if he continues to try to pressure.
Second down and 3 at the 31. Low snap, handle around the corner. Kekahuna with some space. And another first down for the Badgers after he gets 5 and gets out of bounds.
I tell you, this is a great job to stay with it from the quarterback. Look, the poor snap, and Simmons goes down, gets it, and still makes the handoff at the match point. Kekahuna then is able to get onto the outside, break a tackle, and move the chains once again.
He may have the coolest name in college football. Kekahuna.
That's exactly right.
First down and 10 at the 26. Dupree returns out of the eye. Here's a throw to the far side. Vinny Anthony turns it up, gets out of bounds inside the Michigan 10. That's a 17-yard gain. I like the balance that this Wisconsin team is showing early on.
Take the one-on-one matchup on the outside, and they get it against Zeke Berry. Zeke Berry had been injured. He's finally in the lineup, number 10. Just takes a poor angle. Great run on the outside by Vinny Anthony. And again, another first down. Wisconsin right down the field on this Michigan defense here to open the game.
10th play of the drive that started at the Wisconsin 25 for Luke Fickell and the Badgers. First down and goal. Out of the offset eye. Jones straight ahead. Power running by Wisconsin. They're reminding me this week of what we saw with Illinois last week.
Yeah.
When it was all said and done, Joel, Brett Bielema just start beating people up and running right at them.
That's exactly right. Illinois had struggled so bad against Indiana trying to run side to side. They said, we're going to get right downhill. And similar here with Wisconsin, this O-line has been banged up. They've been struggling with injuries. They're letting them get off the ball and go right at the Michigan defense. It's allowed them to have success on first down.
Second down and goal at the 7-yard line. Jones picking its way forward. Will pick up a couple, gets to the 2. Jimmy Wolder with the tackle. Now a big third down and goal coming up. If you're Wisconsin, are you in 4-down territory?
Well, not from the 5. I think they would have to get to about the 2-yard line, and maybe Luke Fickell would send a message to his team and go for it on 4th. So maybe you got a couple of runs in your pocket. You don't necessarily have to throw the football right here, but if you are going to throw it, watch up at the top of your screen. That's Chris Brooks and Tresh Kekahuna at the top of your screen. Some sort of pick route against this man coverage for Michigan.
Third down goal at the 5. Simmons hands it off straight ahead. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Dylan Jones. Wow. Wisconsin marches it right down the field on their opening series. 12 plays, 75 yards.
How about our tackle right here? He's had a great series. Emerson Mandel, you got the tight end as well. That's Lance Mason. Terrific double team. And then the running back, you got to be your own blocker down at the goal line. Dylan Jones, he sees Ernest Hausman in the hole, and he's able to avoid and get to the goal line.
Nathaniel Vacos comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. How about this? Wisconsin striking first blood. Driving it all the way down the field. Dylan Jones with the payoff. 7-0. Badgers. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. And by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Time for today's game flow, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The Wisconsin Badgers, Joel, what a tremendous drive to open up this ball game.
I loved the answer there from Wisconsin. After the bye week, they came out and they just played smash mouth football. That is old school Wisconsin football right there that we saw in particular on first down. First lead versus a Power 4 opponent since 2024. And that was against that great Oregon team last year in what turned out to be an incredible game up there in Madison.
9 of those 12 plays for Wisconsin on the ground. So Andrew Marsh is back deep. And this one into the end zone. So here he comes, the young phenom, Bryce Underwood. And the Michigan offense when we return. Play the Fox Super 6 College Football Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of 5,000 big ones. See the Fox Sports app for details. Bryce Underwood on the field for the first time. Partner, tell me some more about this young man.
Well, I tell you, he's so talented, and one of the things I feel like the coaches are just wanting to let him rip it down the field. You know, I would expect some sort of big play here early.
First down and 10 of the 25. Underwood's going to throw it. Nobody home. Lets it go anyway. And incomplete pass interference coming up, though. Donovan McCulley, the intended receiver. Ricardo Holman in coverage.
Go with the flea flicker right away. They're calling the pass interference right now, and Underwood sees that it's covered. Good job by the defensive backs, but Ricardo Holman, allows Donovan McCulley to get behind him, and that's one of those where it's like the intentional overthrow or just the underthrow, excuse me. That always works out for the quarterback.
Yes,
because, again, how many times do we see those pass interference calls on those underthrown deep balls, and one happens right there? It's a first down and 15 yards for Michigan.
First down at the 40-yard line. Justice Haynes in the backfield. They'll give it to him for the first time. Jitterbugs gets around the corner, stays on his feet. Nice move as he'll get out of bounds and picks up 6 yards, maybe 7 on the play offensively for Michigan.
Well, this offensive line, although they've been banged up and they have a couple of new guards in there, they've been very good running the football and protecting the passer. Underwood's legs have obviously helped them out. They're also trying to get all their playmakers on the field. Watch out for Andrew Marsh, true freshman wide receiver number 4. He's getting the start today. They feel like big days are ahead.
He's from Katy, Texas. Near side throw, nicely done and out of bounds. McCulley with the grab on the sideline defensively for the Badgers.
They're very good on the interior of their front 7. These tackles are big. They're all 300 pounds, 330, 332. And then these linebackers get downhill. Tackett Curtis transferred from USC a couple of years ago. He's in there in the middle, number 4. And then in the back end, they need Ricardo Holman, who got called for that pass interference, to have a quality day and man coverage out on the outside.
First down at the 48. Motion. And here's a handoff. Haynes. Here he goes. Justice Haynes out of bounds at the Wisconsin 5. Austin Brown with the saving tackle.
I want you to watch my guy here, Max Bredesen. This guy is, I think, one of the best football players on this Michigan team. He comes in there as the fullback, and how many times we see on film, 44, make the block right there in a big run.
And the Wolverines will give it back to Haynes. He'll get closer to the goal line. There's Max Bredesen. I tell you, folks, I heard something on TV recently, and it reminded me of Max Bredesen. The best of men at the worst of times. Talk about a real leader. Sacrifice, unselfish.
He's also, as a blocker, and I've never said this before to you on any broadcast, he's a threat as a blocker. He's that good at the point of attack.
Second down and goal at the 1. Haynes outside. How simple can it get? Touchdown, Michigan. And Michigan has already rushed for more yards than Wisconsin allows on average.
Well, here you go with Bredesen, and you've also got the guard. That's Jake Granera. And Granera gets out on the outside. They seal up the edge. Bredesen seals off the linebacker who's trying to scrape over the top, and Haynes just gives the peace sign because he's like, hey, ain't no one touching me to this corner.
Peace out. Dominic Zavada in for the extra point, and he, folks, is a weapon. And it's good. 7 up. 6:02 to play first quarter. Michigan counter punching. Haynes, Pater. Here's our Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. The last time Wisconsin beat a ranked Michigan team in Ann Arbor came 31 years ago in '94. Darrell Bevell led the Badgers with 3 touchdown passes to outlast Tyrone Wheatley and the Wolverines. Justice Haynes, 5 40-yard rushes this season. Most in FBS, 43-yarder on that last drive for Michigan. And Vinny Anthony back deep, lets it go into the end zone. Today, the ALDS begins with 2 huge games. Game 1s. Coming up next, Aaron Judge and the Yankees battle Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays. Then, Joel Klatt heading on FS1. The Detroit Tigers take on this year's home run king, Cal. What do they call him, Joel? The big dumper? Yes. Raleigh. And the Mariners game 1 of the ALDS today on Fox and FS1. That's got to be a great nickname.
That's the best nickname I can remember, man.
All right. See my Tigers beat Cleveland. All right. First down and 10 at the 25. Here's a handoff. Jones cuts it back inside. Bottled up this time. 1-yard gain.
We'll see if Wisconsin can continue to have success on first down. There, they cannot. Now they're in this 2nd and 9 scenario, and you know that Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator for Michigan, after that first series, the entire emphasis was with that defensive line, those tackles. They cannot get pushed out of there on the double teams like we saw in that first series. If they hold their ground, they'll have a lot better chance to succeed on first down.
2nd down and 9 at the 26. Play fake, near side throw, caught, but not a lot of room for Vinny Anthony. That's because Zeke Berry jumped on him.
Well, he didn't miss here, did he? Here's 10, Zeke Berry here on the outside. And he keeps outside leverage, and then he just runs through Vinny Anthony right when that ball arrives. And now Michigan's going to have an opportunity to put a little pressure on Danny O'Neal, who has come in at quarterback for Wisconsin. It started with Hunter Simpson, and now it's Danny O'Neal. To be honest, I don't know why they would do that. The first series was so good, unless something happened to Hunter Simmons.
3rd down 5 at the 30. And they'll run it and pick up a first down with Jones. What a burst as he explodes for 16.
Well, one of the hallmarks of this defense is that you cannot create seams by running up the field. And watch these Michigan players. They're not building the run wall. They're separated and giving away gaps. Great job on the cut from Dylan Jones of finding the open space and getting through for that first down.
First down and 10 at the 46. Hunter Simmons back in at quarterback. He'll throw it. In trouble, lets it go, and short. Had a lot of pressure. Derek Moore was in his face.
Pressure is a signature of this Michigan team. Getting to the quarterback, one of the best pressure rates in all of college football in terms of their pass rush. And that time it was also not only Moore on the outside, but Jimmy Rolder, number 30, the linebacker, who was blitzing right in the face of Hunter Simmons.
Darian Dupree is checked in at running back for the Badgers. They give it to him. And Dupree chopped down as he gets to the line of scrimmage. That's Jimmy Rolder again, and they're high on this kid.
Well, I think the linebacker depth that Jimmy Rolder and Ernest Hausman give them allowed them to move Jayshawn Barham to the edge. They felt like they had the depth. They also have a young player at linebacker, Cole Sullivan, that we'll see in this game, number 23. But Rolder really is a big piece in there because they knew what they had in Hausman. He's a leader. He's one of the captains of this team. But that depth in there has allowed them to get this guy, number 1, Jayshawn Barham, on the edge to rush in these situations.
Maryland transfer, 3rd and 9 at the 47. Simmons sprints out of the pocket, looks backside, and that play broken up. Well done by the Michigan defense. And this time, it's Rod Moore, and they're so happy to have him back.
It's just so good to see him back on the field. Here's number 19, the safety. He almost gets in there for the pick. Would have taken it back to the house. Had a knee injury a couple of springs ago. There were complications with that knee injury. There was thought that he may never get back on the field, but he has rehabbed himself, and I tell you, it is great to see number 19 flying around for the Wolverines.
So Wisconsin forced to punt it away from their own 33. Samaj Morgan is back deep. Lets it go over his head. And the ball will be down at the 1. Great special teams. A 51-yard punt. Michigan will be pen deep. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Homecoming here in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines. This game tied at 7 here in the first quarter. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jimmy Tapp, Mike Pereira with you. As the Michigan offense led by Bryce Underwood comes back on the field. Sharon Moore knows that he has lightning in a bottle with this quarterback and this offense in general. Justice Haynes, the Alabama transfer, has been sensational to start this season. Some movement up front. Michigan says it's against Wisconsin. Wisconsin says it's against Michigan.
This is so smart from a young quarterback.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Gus, the risk reward of going on to a hard cadence here. He's going to go on double clap. So watch Underwood right here. He's going to clap hard to basically signal the snap. So he gives a hard clap right there and gets the jump. Why would you go on 2 or a second clap? Well, if you jump and it's a false start, it's 1 yard. That doesn't hurt you. You're already on the 2-yard line. But if you get 5 free yards, now it's 1st and 5 outside the 5. Great job.
1st and 5. He'll sprint out, trying to square his shoulders. Nice move after the cut. Ball on the ground. Let's see who has it.
You out.
And it's a first down for Michigan as they retain possession. Last game against Nebraska, Bryce Underwood was 12 of 22, 105 yards passing. He rushed for 61 yards and a touchdown as well. He can really move that football on the ground, Joel.
He can, but he also put the ball on the ground against Nebraska, and he's got to protect it when he's in the middle of the field like that. That ball's got to be close to his body. You saw it get away from his body, and it's easy to punch out for a defense.
First down and 10 at the 14. Underwood to throw it. Steps up in the pocket under pressure, and that ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. And I believe it was the pressure by Darrell Peterson. Let's see if he got a hand on it.
I think he did. He comes from this defensive tackle spot right here, right up into the face of Underwood. He beats the left guard, and he's right there. And yes, he absolutely batted that ball down as Underwood was trying to get that ball over to his right side. Had Donovan McCulley, but Peterson made a great play.
Second down and 10 to the 14. Haynes, the single setback. Near side throw. Caught. Andrew Marsh. This is the kid they're excited about from Katy, Texas. He's a freshman. They say he's smooth, athletic, most talented receiver. And he got it from his mom, Eleanor.
I'm excited to watch this guy play. You know, when we walk in and there hasn't been a guy that's really popped on tape yet, and then the coaches are like, hey, wait till you see this guy. We need to get him on the field. We need to get him touches. You know there's going to be something in the game plan like what we just saw. Just a little easy screen on the outside, and he did a great job getting him into this short yardage situation.
Third down and 1 at the 22. Haynes. I don't know. Wisconsin feels that they stopped him.
53-51.
Now that yellow line is the first down line. It's unofficial, but let's see.
That was great penetration by this Wisconsin defensive line. Watch right here on this right side. They're able to get through and get into the backfield, and that was awfully close. It did not look like he got there. Michigan moved their right tackle over. A little bit of an unbalanced set there. Andrew Sprague, 54, normally the right tackle, lined up on the left side. Wisconsin was able to just split the double team and get into the backfield. That was Ben Barton. Coach is telling me this week he's been their best guy in the middle. He's 6'5", 330 pounds, and they needed to get bigger in the offseason. They did. And Ben Barton, that was a really good play there.
Let's see, did Michigan get it? This is close. And they'll give them the first down.
I wanted to see that index card. Remember, it's like, can he slide the index card in there?
Right.
Yeah, I thought that they got a bit of a generous spot there, to be honest, based on the replay. Barton did just such a good job getting into the back. And that's what Luke Fickell, I'm sure, is talking to the officials about right now. He was right down there, down the line on the far side. And they will take a look at this.
Great effort, though, by that Wisconsin front four.
Yeah, I could see this. I could see that getting overturned just because that ball is down near his waist. And I just don't. Again, I know those lines aren't official, but, man, that was close. I know you want to bet. I know you want to bet $1.
Just say it.
You always make me nervous.
Your money don't make you.
That's the truth. All right, I tell you what.
Let's see.
Wait, let me see this, and then I'll tell you if I'm yeah, see how the ball.
Yeah,
I think that's short.
I think it's short too. Mike Pereira, your thoughts? Mikey Rulebooks.
I don't go against Gus anymore.
That's
so
right.
I mean, I know you guys are both together on this. You know, I look at the line feed, and then of course that shot that we just had looks like it's short, but then again, you know, remember, you just have to get to that point where the tip of the ball breaks the plane of the line to gain. It certainly feels short, so I'm going to go with you guys. So we're either all wrong or we're all right.
Mike, I feel like we're the only ones that bait you into calls like this.
The more I try to get out, the more they bring me back in.
I just had I had such an easy one in Illinois, and now I get this. And, you know, and like you say, Joel, you made a good point. The ball is down, and so at his hip, and so I really do think he is short.
Let's see.
After review, the runner was short of the line to gain. Going to be fourth down.
All right, great job by Ben Barton. Getting in there, that 330-pound frame. He's from Stratford, Wisconsin.
That's a good win for that Wisconsin defense after Michigan went right down the field. That quick 5-play, 75-yard drive to open the game, put the ball into the end zone to get off the field there, get it back to their offense. A good win for that defense.
Hudson Hollenbach will punt inside his own 10-yard line. Tyrell Henry is the deep man at the 34. This one takes a bounce, and Henry will clear, and the ball will be down at the 30. A 47-yard punt.
Here's a look at our reliable performer, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability that you can count on. For the last couple of weeks, Michigan can count on Jayshawn Barham getting in and disrupting the quarterback. 3 sacks in his last couple of games since they moved him from middle linebacker to the edge. He's got explosive get-off, great athleticism. They'll still move him on and off the ball, but it reminds me a lot of Abdul Carter from Penn State, who was an off-the-ball linebacker. They moved him to the edge last year with the Nittany Lions, and he became a game wrecker and one of the best prospects in college football toward the NFL draft. I could see that happening for Barham after this move.
First down for Wisconsin at their own 29-yard line. Darian Dupree in the backfield as the pistol. They'll give it to him running. Looking for a hole, and he'll gain a yard, maybe 2. Stopped by Cole Sullivan.
That's that young linebacker I was talking about last series, Cole Sullivan, in to spell some of these starters. They really love his athleticism and his length. He's 6'3", Gus, 230 pounds, just a sophomore. Really a redshirt freshman here. And he's the only Power 4 player with 2+ sacks and 2 interceptions. Had an interception against Nebraska, and they really think he's going to be a great player.
He's from Pittsburgh. 2nd and 8 at the 31. Could be the last play of the quarter. Simmons guns one to the sideline. It's complete at the 35-yard line. A 4-yard pickup. Vinny Anthony.
I think that will do it for the first quarter.
All right, the end of 1. Wisconsin 7. Michigan 7. Coming up the second quarter from the Big House after this. Big Noon Saturday, sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Start of the second quarter, 7-0. Michigan, Wisconsin, Badgers playing some good ball, Joel, to start this game after struggling over the last 2 games.
Yeah, they've got to be pleased with the way this first quarter has gone. They have been so bad in the first quarter. Only 3 points total so far in any first quarter, and here an opportunity.
Giacomelli in as the Wildcat quarterback. And he'll run it and doesn't fool anybody. He'll lose yardage on this play as they split Hunter Simmons out wide. Well defended by Michigan. Hillman, first man to him, a loss of 1.
Yeah, this defense does a great job of not getting faked by this outside zone fake to the running back. Giacomelli tries to take it right up the gut. Michigan is right there to stop him. A really nice job by the linebacker core to stay in there. Brandon Hillman, the safety, down low, making the play.
Atticus Bertrams will punt it away from his own 20. Samaj Morgan is the deep man. Standing at the 23. Left-footed punter. Very good. Out of bounds around the 20-yard line, 46-yard punt. Tomorrow, a Fox NFL doubleheader starts with Dak and the Cowboys taking on the Jets or other regional action. Then, in America's Game of the Week, Justin Herbert and the Chargers take on the Commanders or the Lions and the Bengals. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox. Here comes Bryce Underwood. You know, at the Michigan facility, folks, there are 3 Heisman trophies. The 3 Heisman Trophy winners: Tom Harmon, Desmond Howard, Charles Woodson. I asked Bryce about it, what he thinks when he walks by those trophies. He said, there's going to be 4. First down at the 19 for the Wolverines. Underwood looking, goes through his progression, drops it off short. Jordan Marshall, who's having a great start to his season, a sophomore from Cincinnati. And he'll pick up 8 yards on the play. Allegro stands him up.
This is one of those little small plays, but watch the development, okay? So first of all, Underwood wants to go left with this ball. He looks, reads the defense, he says, nope, nope, nope. That's all the way back to number 4 in the progression. That shows development, mastery of the offense. This is what Sharon Moore will be watching on videotape with him and saying, all right, this is what we like to see you do because we know you can run around.
Second down and 2. Here's Marshall again with the carry. And he will not pick up the first down. And the question that I'd like to ask you, partner, what does Bryce Underwood not know that he will eventually know?
Well, I think the number one thing is learning how to develop into a passer of the football rather than a thrower of the football. He's a very talented thrower of the football right now. Sharon Moore knows that. Everyone knows that. That's why he's the number 1 player in the country. But there's a difference in the way that you pass the football. You got to change tempo, change pace, change touch in order to be a great passer.
Third down and 2. Underwood side steps, fires underneath, incomplete. This time, Max Bredesen just couldn't hold on to it, and the Wolverines will have to punt it away.
Not often that Bredesen gets an opportunity. He's lined up over on the left side. And then as Underwood is going to go through his reads over here all the way to the left, he's going to slide over in the pocket. Now he tries to get to Bredesen. Bredesen's got to bring that one in. Again, that's a heater. Again, talented arm. That one's coming in hot from Underwood, but certainly you've got to throw that one with pace at the frame. He does that. Bredesen needs to bring it in.
Hollenbach from the 14. Tyrell Henry backpedaling. That ball in the sun. Nicely done to make that catch at the 15-yard line. Wisconsin defense stout to start. Coming up, they'll be on offense when we come back.
Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life. Building confident futures for nearly 160 years. 7-7 here from the big house. Early stages of the second quarter. Really good drive to open the game from Wisconsin. Right down the field to score. Michigan answered. Underwood's only 3 of 5 for 23. Haynes so far 5 rushes for 54. The success for Wisconsin is because first down. Their first drive, 8 yards per play on first down. The last 2, only 1 yard per play on first down. Can they have success here?
So here we go from the 15, and Jones is ambushed by Derek Moore as he gets to the line of scrimmage.
These edges for Michigan is what makes this defense go, really. And there's that yards per play on first down. That first drive, they were excellent on first down. They have not been able to sustain that success. They've been behind schedule, allowing the pass rush to get home. Guys like Derek Moore on the outside, Jayshawn Barham. You've got Dominic Nichols in there, number 33. They present such a problem.
Second down and 9 to the 16. Play action. Simmons lets it go, and he'll pick up the first. Nice throw, nice route. Vinny Anthony with an 11-yard reception.
Tell you what, Michigan is doing a lot of blitzing right now. When you blitz these linebackers, what does it do? It presents open areas over the middle of the field. Nobody there. No zone players in the middle of the field, and Wisconsin is taking advantage of that. Vinny Anthony does a great job sitting down, giving his chest to his quarterback, and it's an easy completion for Simmons for a first down.
Anthony already 4 catches for 36 yards. First and 10, Wisconsin. And Jones. He'll gain 3. Etta with the tackle.
Now, it's interesting because so far today, when Michigan doesn't blitz a linebacker, they've been defending pretty well. Against the run, they're not creating seams. They build that run wall, and then against pass defense, they can catch those short routes because Wisconsin clearly wants to get that ball out of their hand quickly. We'll see what Wink Martindale does here on 2nd and 7. But pay attention to these linebackers, Cole Sullivan and Jimmy Rolder.
From the 30. And another handoff for Jones, and Jayshawn Barham right there on the spot, a 2-yard loss.
Look at his elusiveness, Gus. So he's on the outside, but he's also going to dip around the block and get right back into the interior of that offense and then chase him down. The closing speed and athleticism of Barham, that's what they're so excited about out on the edge.
So that makes it 3rd down and 9 for the Badgers at their own 28. Homecoming here in Ann Arbor. A maze out. Jones, the single setback with Hunter Simmons. Simmons to throw, checks it down. Jones with space. Can he get there? No. And he's corralled and finally brought down by Jaden Mangum. Also, Jimmy Rolder in on the play. A 6-yard gain.
Those safeties, they've got to be great tacklers in space. TJ Metcalf, transfer from Arkansas. He came up. He was the first player there to try to make a play. And then he had help from his safety brother, Jaden Mangum.
Bertram's from the 20. Morgan standing at the 25. This one goes dead at the 40, takes a trickle, and will be down at the 35. It looks like that might have been blocked. Let's see. Yes. Wolverine got a hand on it. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. Welcome back to Ann Arbor. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. And these questions, partner, have been getting hard. True freshman Bryce Underwood is proving himself to be one of the best young quarterbacks in the country. So for today's Aflac trivia question, in the college football playoff era, which quarterback won the most games as a true freshman starter? You know this one?
I think so.
Okay. Hold on. First down and 10 at the 34. Haynes in the backfield with Underwood. Bryce Underwood. Quarterback run with space. Gets to the corner and is dragged down at the 40-yard line by Allegro, a gain of 6. So give me your thoughts. Give me your guess.
I think it's Trevor Lawrence, who came in after a couple of games and started the rest of the way for Clemson en route to, I believe, a national championship that year.
Who is
Jalen Hurts.
Yep. Trevor Lawrence, top 3, though.
Man.
Good guess. Second down and 4 at the 40. Of course it would be Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
He wins everywhere he goes as soon as he gets there. Haynes. And Allegro there defensively after 3-yard pickup.
You know, this Wisconsin defense, it's very difficult to run straight ahead. The successful run game from that first series was on the edge, and they also trapped back inside with the fullback Max Bredesen. Other than that, though, it's been very tough sledding for this Michigan offense, trying to run the football right at the interior of this defense.
Third down and 1 at the 43. Marshall. Tell you what, this is an aggressive Wisconsin defense. They're going to give them the first down, I believe.
Coming over here to this left side, he's going to end up diving right into the middle. But you see, they just don't get a ton of push against Wisconsin. No one does, right? Like, Bama tried to run a few times early in that game, and they just abandoned the run because they've got Ty Simpson and Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams and all those guys who just started to throw the football around. Just running the football on this defense is very difficult. Number 1 rush defense in America.
First down at the 45. Play fake. Underwood. Looking. Go throws it. Sideline. Back shoulder. And it's caught. Oh, Andrew Marsh. They've been telling us about this kid from Texas. That's a 32-yard gain.
I mean, and this is very good coverage as well to fit this in there. This is Matthew Young in coverage, and Marsh goes back. Did he secure it and get that foot down? Michigan will go fast to try to avoid a replay, and they do.
First down at the 23, and it's Marshall between the tackles, and he'll get inside the 20, a 5-yard gain.
What an adjustment from Marsh. Really good throw from Bryce Underwood. In coverage, you go to the back shoulder, and he goes to the back shoulder. He goes up, locates that ball, secures it. That foot was down, and then he controls it through the process of going to the ground. And the coverage was fantastic. Just better execution from the young wide receiver.
6 feet tall, 190 pounds. Second and 5 at the 18. Underwood in trouble. Underwood gobbled up, and he'll be tackled for a big loss. Suggs finally getting to him. A loss of 4.
That is just a huge play for Wisconsin. Now puts Michigan way behind the chains here. A chance to get off the field and force a field goal opportunity for this defense after the big play would be a big win here. Likely drop back pass, although you never know with Michigan. You could always get one of those sneaky runs, maybe a draw, try to get this down to 4th and 2.
Third down, 9 at the 22. Marshall remains in the game at running back. Underwood, quick throw, high, and incomplete. Morgan the target. Holman in coverage, and that will bring on the field goal unit.
Well, that slipped out of his hand. That came out very funky. You can see he's looking down at his hand right now. The sprint out to the left is always really hard. And, yeah, that one just came out of his hand really awkward. Holman almost had a chance at that interception.
So Dominic Zavada in to attempt a 40-yarder. Against Nebraska, he was 3 for 3 with a 56-yarder. Got it up and pure. 10-7. Wolverines will take the 3 points. 5:43 to play here in the second quarter. Are you fan enough? Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a pepper thing. One of the great fan bases in all of college football. The University of Michigan Wolverines.
A little hotter here than it normally is the first week of October.
I can't believe it. But today is so hot. Yes, the last couple of days. I can't wait for the snow. When is it going to snow? It's October.
Easy now. I'm soft as Charmin, man. I can't handle the snow.
We'll toughen you up here in Michigan. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT.
Well, I've been watching Bryce Underwood carefully here. You mentioned his hand a bit. Now, what I can tell you, they quickly examined that right hand, that medical staff coming over, almost a handshake, testing his strength. He was holding a football while he was watching film back. He's now throwing a bit on the sideline. No signs of discomfort, but I'll keep an eye.
Well, remember, the play right before that ball got away from him, he did get sacked. And so you just never know. Awkwardly going down, trying to maintain possession.
But sometimes those balls are really slick, aren't they, Joel?
I mean, they shouldn't be.
Do they scuff up the balls
like
they do in baseball?
Yeah, you bet.
First down and 10 at the 25. Simmons. Sideline. Nice throw and a great catch. Wow, Vinny Anthony has been playing some terrific football to start this game. That's a gain of 7, his 5th catch.
Really good route as he angles himself on the out route back to the quarterback, and a really good throw from Hunter Simmons. And we can see why they wanted him in the game. Watch this route on the outside from Vinny Anthony as he goes on the out route against Barry, and then he gets himself back to the football as Barry is closing down, and he's able to maintain that space for the completion.
2nd and 3. Darian Dupree, the pistol back. They give it to him. He hops through the hole and is met this time by Hillman. A 1-yard gain.
I tell you, he wasn't just met. Watch Hillman, so he's back here at safety. Watch how fast, Gus, he closes down this hole from his safety position like a missile, and wham! He comes in there hard with that left shoulder. And now for Wisconsin, looks like Danny O'Neal jogging back onto the field at quarterback.
3rd down and 2 at the 33. O'Neal, sophomore from Indianapolis. And a timeout called by the Badgers. 4:18 to go, second quarter, 10-7 Michigan. They had a big 3rd down coming up for the Badgers.
Well, this one is going to be more manageable like it was on the first drive. They were 3 of 3 on the first drive. Average distance inside of 4 yards. Since it's been long yardage. And now they've got one that they've got to feel like they can convert. And O'Neal is on the field. O'Neal, Gus, I will say, better runner than Simmons. So watch for some of that quarterback action run game in the backfield.
They're 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. O'Neal hands it off, and Wisconsin will not get it. Great defense by the Wolverines. Jackson Acker running the football. But Michigan denies them that first down.
Yeah, great job right here. Here's Ernest Hausman, and he's going to sprint through from that linebacker position. He gets untouched, and he's the first hands on him. And then up front, Damon Payne, transferred in from Bama. He's over 300 pounds, and Wink Martindale loving his defense, standing up on that 3rd down.
And this is the 4th straight punt for the Badgers. Bertram's from the 19. Morgan. And it goes out of bounds around the 25. 44-yard punt for Bryce Underwood now as he walks back on the field for Michigan. Wolverines offense hadn't been rolling like they did on their first series when they answered Wisconsin's touchdown.
They went a little bit away from some of that run game, maybe scared away by Wisconsin, who stopped them on first down a couple of times. And then now you're going to have a hand, you know, and listen, it's in the back of your mind if you're Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator, that Underwood, possibly some discomfort you can see in that last camera shot. He was still flexing that right hand. So you wonder how healthy he is. Will they lean back into the run game? Potentially get on the edges a little bit with this run game, which worked for them on that first series.
First down and 10 from the 23. Underwood hands it off. Marshall trying to get around the corner. Not a lot. Maybe one. Tackett Curtis was on the tackle.
And watch them build this run wall. This is why it's so difficult to run on the interior of this defense. You know, you've got players for players there, but there's no movement. And then Curtis is able to blow it up right there. He comes in there, knocks the pulling guard back, and then there's really nowhere to go.
Second down and 8. From the 25. Underwood sideline throw and incomplete. Donovan McCulley, the intended receiver, brings up third down.
Looked like they were not on the same page there. McCulley ran what I felt like was a little bit of a deep hitch. Underwood threw it to a spot right there. That's a throw that you're making before the cut of the wide receiver, expecting him at a certain point. McCulley was further down the field.
Underwood so far, 4 of 8, 55 yards. Third down and 8 at the 25. Underwood stepping up, dancing. Nice shake, dives forward, gets to the 32. Not enough for the first. He needed 8, he got 6. And Michigan will punt it away again.
Yeah, protection has not been there. And you've got to credit what you're seeing from this Wisconsin defense. This is Sebastian Cheeks out here on the outside. Watch him dip under the right tackle. That's Andrew Sprague, and he forces Underwood out of the pocket. And then they've got somebody there, always spying, watching for Underwood's legs. He's a threat with that mobility, and they've been ready for it.
Holland back from the 16. Henry, that's a take a bounce, and it will be downed inside the Wisconsin 30. 41-yard punt. 1:59 to play, second quarter. 10-7. Here come the Badgers back on offense. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands.
Welcome back to Homecoming Saturday here in Ann Arbor. Luke Fickell in search of his first ranked win at Wisconsin. They're only down 3. Rob Stone here with you, coming up on the State Farm halftime. We talked about this game on Big Noon Kickoff. Number 14 Iowa State, tricky test at Cincinnati. Would Illinois be caught looking ahead to the Buckeyes next week? And guys, how about Clemson's start at North Carolina? First 16 plays, 4 touchdowns.
Wow. Look forward to watching Rob and the boys at halftime. Get us caught up.
Thank you very little, Clemson. I had him as my national title pick.
First down and 10. And Simmons, sideline, nice catch. Lance Mason, his 15th catch of the season. That's a gain of 17.
Been impressed with Simmons so far. You know, unfazed by this environment and this defense. There was some pressure bearing down on him. That was Barham coming from his right, and he just softly slid in the pocket, was able to find his tight end down the field. You know, this move to Simmons, I think it's paid dividends. You saw him go right down the field on their first drive, punch it in the end zone. And right here, maybe they got something brewing.
From the 44, first down. And they'll do the double reverse. Around the corner, Tyrell Henry. And he is tracked down at midfield, and it's a 5-yard gain. Rod Moore there.
What a sensational play by Rod Moore. He comes all the way. The deep safety is going to come up and recognize what's going on, and then watch the open field tackle, slashing in and getting the legs of Henry. Gosh, man, I tell you, it's just good to see him back on the field. Love to see him healthy, but he's also such a weapon for them defensively because he diagnoses what the offense is doing so quickly.
Injured that knee. Wink Martindale told us that he's got to trust it. He's got to trust that knee, and it'll take a little time. Jones Derek Moore there again. That's a gain of 2. I got a treat coming up at halftime, Hart.
What do you got?
I got a sandwich coming from Zingerman.
Ah, yes.
In all my years covering Michigan, I've never had a sandwich.
What?
I can't believe that either.
You've never had a Zingerman's?
Nope. I got a Katzinger's in Columbia, but not a Zingerman's in Ann Arbor.
I can't believe you just said that.
It's 3rd down and 3 at the 49. 40 seconds left. Near side, that ball deflected. This time it's TJ Metcalf.
Blitz from this second level. And here comes Metcalf. Nobody there to block him. Simmons trying to get that ball out on the outside and just can't do it. Metcalf up, bats it down. And Michigan will force the punt.
So Michigan with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 34 seconds remaining in the first half.
And the best kicker in college football.
Oh,
so
yes.
That 34 seconds, you know, depending on field position here, you could be pressing the ball down the field.
Bertram sends it away. Oh, what a beautiful punt with English. Down at the 6. 43 yards.
I know Justice Haynes had a great first series, but you're looking like a great player for the first half. Bertram's, how about the 2 punts he's had? Pinning Michigan inside of their 5, the help of his special teams guys, and then right there putting the English on it like a 60-degree wedge.
I told you about my father, what he said.
The best play in football is a punt.
That's right. Why?
Kick it.
Right.
Rely on your defense.
There you go. And figure out offense later. He used to say that my whole life.
That's
my
great.
whole life.
You must love Iowa football.
Wow. First down and 10 at the 6. And underneath, incomplete. Morgan just couldn't keep his hands on the ball. He was open.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of drops today.
Put a little grandma salve on those gloves.
Bredesen dropped a ball right in his kitchen. Morgan right there in his kitchen. He drops it. Morgan's had a problem with that. That's 13 drops, I believe, that Michigan has had so far this season. 5th drop from Morgan. So certainly consistency-wise, he needs to improve.
2nd down and 10 at the 6. And they'll run it with Haynes. Does it take receivers time to really understand the ball that's coming from a new quarterback?
The velocity with Underwood. Let me just give you a quick story. Back in the late 80s with the Denver Broncos, remember the 3 amigos, Mark Jackson, those guys? They would not catch a ball unless it was John Elway or the Jugs machine, because they didn't want to get used to anything other than John Elway's fastball. Okay. And Underwood just throws it harder than anybody else.
All right, that's the end of the first half with the score 10-7. Coming up, Rob Stone and the boys with the State Farm halftime show right here from Michigan Stadium. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. We're ready for the second half here in Ann Arbor, Michigan on homecoming day. And the Wolverines lead the Badgers 10-7 heading into the third. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt. And in that first half, you got to give Wisconsin a lot of credit, especially for some of the struggles that they've had this season for competing that way. And Michigan, on the other hand, they've shown that they have talent, but they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, listen, I thought Wisconsin's plan early offensively was very good. And throwing the football on first down, getting themselves on schedule, allowed them to have success on that first drive, and then wound up putting them in the end zone. Dylan Jones here, 5 yards, and he's into the end zone. Now, Michigan would answer their best offensive series of the entire game. 5 plays, 75 yards, Justice Haynes in there. That was after a big 40-plus yard rush from Haynes. But then it was all defense, and it was pressure really from both teams on these quarterbacks. Michigan doing a nice job against the run. Wisconsin doing a great job confusing Underwood and also getting to him. There was nowhere to go for either of these offenses. It was really just that pass interference that set Michigan up for the opportunity to kick a field goal. Zvada kicked it through, and we've been pretty evenly matched so far in this ballgame. And I said at the beginning, this matchup is good for Wisconsin because of that run defense, and they are proving that. Michigan will get the ball here to start the second half. We'll see what adjustments that they make to try to get that offense going.
All right, so Andrew Marsh back deep for the Wolverines. Vegas will send it away. And here we go. This one goes out of the back of the end zone. So let's check in with Jenny.
Well, the first thing Sharon Moore said to me when he was heading to the locker room at the break was, we got to start with the basics, and that's catching the football. There was a little bit of frustration from the head coach. Of course, I asked him about his quarterback, Bryce Underwood. He seemed to think no concern there. He's liking what he's seeing defensively. What's worked has been the physicality and finishing our tackles. And you guys pointed it out. Coach Fickell likes where this game is. You know how good they are at stopping the run. He said, other than the way we started the game, we got to continue our physicality. He's going to keep everything the same with his quarterback situation. They need to win the line of scrimmage, and this game will come down to who's more physical.
Thank you, Jenny. 1st and 10 to the 25 for the Wolverines. And they give it to Haynes straight ahead, and he carries some people with him. He'll cross the 30-yard line up to the 33. Allegro with the stop, but it's a gain of 6.
All right, this is what I love about Justice Haynes. Everyone's going to talk about these physical, or excuse me, the speed runs and the big runs, but this is what I love, physical. You've got to own that if you're a linebacker, right? That's your job defensively, and yet there's Justice Haynes lowering his shoulder behind his pads and picking up 6.
That's Tony Alford, the running backs coach. He's one of the best running backs coaches in all of college football. Underwood, nice sidearm throw. Woo! Now that was a whip. Andrew Marsh. Partner, I know it was a short throw, but man, he has some hot sauce on that one.
And more importantly, it was caught. You know, the struggle with some drops as the guys were talking about at halftime. And right there, Marsh, who's now turning out, you think of the big catches he's made. That one on the sideline, beautiful catch right there. That whip, like you called it, on the outside. Marsh catches it. Maybe he's going to be this go-to guy in the second half.
3 catches, 54 yards for the freshman. Here's another throw out wide. Morgan this time holds on, but he's corralled and almost taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Little guy fights and could gain a yard.
The wide receiver position was a question for Michigan coming into this season. They got Donovan McCulley out of the transfer portal. Didn't really know what they had in Andrew Marshall, though they loved him. He was a top 100 overall recruit. Samaj Morgan was back, and they need Marsh to really develop into a go-to guy. He and McCulley, I think, could be go-to guys for them.
2nd down and 9. Underwood on the move. Ooh, what a throw. Great catch. Marsh again. This time, he gets inside the 30. 26 yards.
Well, I love his patience on this. So the first read is this flat route to Haynes, and he's like, all right, I don't like that. There's defense there, and then you just climb. So anytime you're on the run as a quarterback outside, and certainly for here for Michigan, you read low to high, Gus. Number 1 is low, then you go high. So that's number 2 in the progression. He delivers it perfectly.
1st down and 10 to the 29 now. For the Wolverines, opening series of the second half. They hand it off. Haynes bounces it outside, cuts it up. Nice piece of running, but there is a flag on the play behind the line of scrimmage. Hallman with the tackle.
I think they're going to get Bredesen here in the backfield.
Holding, offense, number 44, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
This is one of those situations as Bredesen is going to come. He's thinking that this is going to be a kick out, but then the ball bounces outside and he's grabbing right there. Actually got a little face mask action right there as he's going down to the ground. It's always difficult for those linemen or a fullback like Bredesen when you think that the ball is going in one spot inside and then the back goes outside. You can get caught with your hands.
First penalty of the game for Michigan. Empty set for Underwood. Over the middle. Caught on the move by Zach Marshall. They like the tight end room at Michigan.
Yeah, as they should. And they don't even have really their best passing threat, Hogan Hansen. Now, Marlon Klein, Brady touched on this during the halftime. He is a threat as well, number 17. And he can certainly get right up the seam. But these are guys that they can target at some point during the course of this second half.
Do you like the rhythm you're seeing from the Wolverines to start this second half?
It's much better and it's more aggressive, and it's also on the edge. They haven't tried to just attack the interior of the defense, which is so stout.
Second down and 9 to the 28. And this time Wisconsin was ready for Haynes as Mason Reagor comes up and makes the hit.
Reagor does a great job. Watch him get inside of Sprague here. He just goes inside of the right tackle. This offensive line has really struggled today. Sprague has missed a few different blocks. The movement from Wisconsin laterally has caused the offensive line fits so far today.
So a third down and 9 at the 28 for Michigan. Underwood in trouble, breaks a tackle, squares his shoulders underneath, throws a dime, Morgan. Put it on the ground. And Michigan hold on.
I'll tell you, this ball was bobbling all over the place. Here's that dip, the sidearm. Watch, Morgan's first going to bobble it right here. And he's able to corral it. Then he spins forward, and the ball is definitely on the ground, and it bounces right back to him, and he's able to recover it.
And Haynes will lose 3 yards. Peterson with the tackle.
Tried to go with a little quick tempo there, but didn't get the edge blocked. And there's Darrell Peterson again. We've seen him make a few plays here today. This Wisconsin defense up front, they are winning up front. All the success that Michigan has had has been on the outside, really, except for that Haynes run on the first series.
Second down goal from the 12-yard line. Haynes gets through the hole, and he'll lead forward, picks up 3 inside the 10.
Hey, bring it up, bring it up.
Now you got to, I think, get Underwood on the run outside. You know, the pocket has not been very clean from this offensive line. He's on the left hash, and as a right-hander, you can get him out of the pocket moving right. Try to get some options open in the end zone.
Third down and goal at the 9. Underwood in the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Marlon Klein. Well defended. Looks like Matthew Jung had him. And Michigan will be forced to kick a field goal.
And again, a good win for that Wisconsin defense after the best really sustained drive that Michigan has had so far today. Underwood was 5 for 5 before that third down miss, and now Zavada out for the field goal.
Bend but don't break defense for Wisconsin. This one from 27 yards away. Zavada already good from 40. And he missed it. Not a good snap. The snap was low. And Luke Fickell will take it. Wisconsin playing some serious ball.
You can know. And I don't need you no more. Get 'em. I'm alive again, more alive than I had been in my.
Joel, I used to hoop with Ethan Hawke in New York in my younger days. He's the kind of guy that you never want to play basketball against because he guards you too hard.
Big sharp elbows.
He'll get you hurt. First down and 10 of the 20-yard line for Wisconsin. Here's a handoff to Dylan Jones, who's had a fine game so far. Doesn't get much, though. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say it's a 1-yard gain.
Well, after that first series for Wisconsin, it's been a really tough go at it. Now, what they used on that first series was a lot of what I would call big formation, so like 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends for Luke Fickell. And what they would do out of that is play action pass and then replace blitzing linebackers with the football. And some of those passing plays allowed them to move the chains, have success on first down. They've gotten away from that. I wonder if they'll go back to this in the second half.
Hunter Simmons eventually is going to have to let this ball fly. 2nd and 9 at the 21. Jones, the deep back, out of the eye. Play fake. Simmons rolling. Incomplete. Good pressure by the Wolverines. Hill. Lance Mason, the intended receiver for the Badgers.
This is where Michigan excels. This is where those defensive ends, those edge rushers can really get going. 3rd and long, you got to feel like it's a pass. That's where Jayshawn Barham has really excelled over the last couple of games. He'll be the top defensive end to your screen.
3rd down and 9 at the 21. Simmons underneath and incomplete. He had his receiver Lance Mason, but that ball knocked out of his hands by Barham.
Great pressure on the interior right there from Jimmy Rolder and Rayshawn Benny, getting in the face of Simmons. But here is Jayshawn Barham, number 1, dropping into coverage. Remember, he was an off-the-ball linebacker prior to this move to defensive end, edge rusher. And so he understands how to play in space, and then a big hit from Brandon Hillman.
Morgan, the deep man, as Bertram's has had a busy day, punting inside his own 10. Morgan to the sideline, and it's fair caught at the 37. 41-yard punt. So coming up, Bryce Underwood and the Michigan offense trying to get something going. 10-7. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover. Start your Saturday strong with a bang. Number 1 Ohio State rolls into Big Noon with phenom Jeremiah Smith and rising star Julian Sand leading the charge against Illinois. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff back in Champaign. Then it's Ohio State, Illinois, only on Fox. Got a good one going on here, folks. 10-7. Defensive battle. As you can see, 2 quarterbacks trying to figure this thing out. Underwood back on the field to Haynes, and he gets clobbered by Rager again. That's a loss of 3.
And again, it's this right side. You know, I keep pointing him out, but Andrew Sprague continues to miss, and they're just beating him inside. And they've done it now 4 or 5 different times. A total whiff, and Haynes has nowhere to go.
2nd down and 13. Underwood underneath. He's got his man. It's Klein, the tight end. He'll dive forward. And Klein picks up 10.
I think he needs to be featured a little bit more. I think Klein is a weapon for them. That's just a little middle screen to the tight end. And then up and over and hurdles, and boy, that's always dangerous as he gets hit to the ground. Christian Allegro with the hit, number 0.
3rd down and 3. Underwood wants to run it. On the move, he throws it and incomplete. Klein the target once again. Austin Brown in coverage, and that Wisconsin defense turns back this Wolverine squad one more time.
The beauty of what's going on for Wisconsin is that they're able to get a little pressure, even though that wasn't pressure. Underwood wanted to escape, but they're just rushing 4 guys, and they are able to win with that defensive line, dropping everybody else into coverage. They're playing soft zone coverage, nowhere to go with the football, doing a terrific job reading the eyes of Underwood and being ready for him to escape the pocket as a runner.
Hudson Hollenbach will punt it from the 30. Tyrell Henry, the deep man. Henry from the 5. And Henry will be taken down inside the 10. A 50-yard punt, 4-yard return. Joe Taylor with the tackle on special teams. Recently, the Badgers have had some serious bad luck when it comes to starting quarterbacks. In Luke Fickell's first season, Tanner Mordecai broke his hand, and then the following season, Tyler Van Dyke tore his ACL. This year, Billy Edwards has played just 34 snaps in the first 4 games.
It's been just such a tough go for Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, but I think mainly because of that. In fact, when his intended starter has started and finished a game, he's 8-3 at Wisconsin.
First down at the 10-yard line for the Badgers. Hunter Simmons has done a fine job in today at QB. Hands it off to Jones. He's stopped by Rolder, no gain.
The intended starter this year is that man over on the sideline, number 9, Billy Edwards. He transferred in from Maryland. Wisconsin's had 5 different starting quarterbacks since 2023. That's the most in the Big Ten. They also changed philosophies offensively. They had Phil Longo, an offensive coordinator that kind of specialized in the air raid, trying to go back to a more traditional style offense and not lean so heavily on great quarterback play. And that transition's going to take some time.
Second down and 10 at the 10-yard line. Simmons. And it's complete around the 15 to Vinny Anthony. And Yair Hill is there. 5-yard gain.
The most difficult part for them is that they've had such a rotating door, not only at quarterback, but also on the offensive line. Lost some guys in the spring. Kevin Haywood, they thought would be the starting left tackle, brought in some transfers, and it's been a rotating door. The line has done okay today, not great, but they need to protect him here.
3rd and 5 at the 15. Play clock down to 4. Simmons. Sideline. Oh, almost. Zeke Berry had a beat on that ball. And he almost picked that one off. Michigan turns away Wisconsin.
So everything has been short so far. So watch Zeke Berry outside corner here on your left side. And he just sits on that right. Now he's broken it. He almost picked that one off. Could have taken that one back to the house if he got his hands on it. Contact right there as they're both going for the ball. And Zeke Berry, he's done a heck of a job today.
Bertram's punting from his own 1. Morgan may get a shot at this one. And it takes a sideways bounce and goes out of bounds at the 33. 49-yard punt. All defense today for both teams selling out. 10-7, 5:14 to go in the 3rd. And so far, folks, the story of this game has been defense. The defenses have dominated. 11 punts in the game, 5 for 18 on 3rd down conversions, 5 tackles for loss. Each team went 75 yards on their first possession, but they've sputtered since. First down at the 33. Underwood will throw it. Sideline toss. Incomplete. McCulley couldn't get a foot down. Hill covering for the Badgers.
Deani Hill tried to push him out. McCulley is able to get it. Oh, goodness. Is that left foot down? He's got control. They might need to take a look at that. I thought he pushed him out, but that left foot looks like it's in.
It looks like that the heel was definitely in.
And they will blow this dead and take a look at it. Gus, it looked like Hill pushed him out with great coverage. Deani Hill on that boundary side, short side of the field, but the athleticism of McCulley, he goes up and over the top, and he grabs this ball, so he's got control right there, and if that foot is totally in bounds, it's close. But certainly from some of the looks that we had, it looked to be in.
It looks like he's in to me. Mike Pereira, if you're with us, your thoughts?
I'm always with you, Gus. I'll tell you, to me, this is a catch. you think of heel-toe. We know that. So if you catch the ball and you get control, got your toe in the ground, the heel has to come down inbounds too, which I think it does. You know, a little confusion. You see the defender's foot's out of bounds when you look at everybody. But to me, like you, I think this is a catch.
Wish we could get that kid.
And of course, too, he holds onto the ball when he hit the ground.
That's the key part at the end. You're right. And maybe we get this guy out of the way. He's just holding his water bottle. It's like, hey, man, your left arm is in the shot, bro.
McCulley, 3 catches for 39 against Nebraska in his last game. First year at Michigan, former Indiana quarterback and wide receiver.
After further review, is a completed pass. First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
33-yard gain. Man, that's great athleticism from McCulley. And again, they've been looking for this, right? Who's the go-to guy? Who can we go to in a crucial situation? Kickstart the offense. We saw Andrew Marsh get a couple of catches on their opening series of the second half. Here they go to McCulley on the outside, and he's a huge player. 6'5", 215 pounds. And he showed that athleticism and then body control to get that foot down inbounds.
So first down for Michigan at the Wisconsin 34. Here's a fake reverse and a pass near sideline. Wisconsin ready for it, though. Not a big gain, 5 yards.
Gimmer Latimer, number 1. That's a terrific open field tackler. Watch number 1. He's out here at the outside linebacker spot, and he's just going to run with Klein and immediately go down low and get his legs. A little bit of a wrinkle there from Michigan with a motion, or a shift, I should say, with the entire offensive line on that play.
2nd and 5 at the Wisconsin 29-yard line. Haynes in the backfield. Underwood underneath, caught McCulley again with a burst, still running. McCulley to the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. 29 yards.
They're running the run-pass option off of this linebacker. What Underwood doesn't realize is that the corner also blitzes. So now he sees it. He's already decided to throw that football. And McCulley runs a beautiful route right past the face of the safety, Austin Brown, and then a beautiful move to the outside to get in the end zone. How's that for a feature wide receiver? Who are you looking for? Donovan McCulley.
McCulley, 2 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown on the drive. Zavada comes in for the extra point. Another low snap. This time handled, and it's good. Michigan puts it together. 4 plays, 67 yards. Donovan McCulley, the former Indiana quarterback and wide receiver. At one time in his career, he battled Michael Penix Jr. and Jack Tuttle for playing time in Bloomington. He did start 4 games, big-time touchdown there. And the Wolverines take a 17-7 lead over the Badgers. Beckham Sunderland will send it away. Vinny Anthony is the deep man. And Anthony from the 1. Crosses the 20 and gets up to the 24, but there is a flag on the play.
I think this one is going to go against Wisconsin. There was a skirmish kind of going on way away from the return involving Troy Bowles.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 13, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, one thing about Bryce Underwood that keeps coming up when we talk to him, his teammates, his coaches, he just loves football. He told us yesterday when we sat down with him, he said, actually, I've been kicked out of the football facility before, so I had to go to Sharon Moore and get the whole story. So he told me, turns out he called his head coach. He said, I got to get in. It's 10 p.m. at this point. Sharon Moore wasn't so sure about it, but he gave him the keys. Then Bryce sends him a selfie at 3 a.m. Sharon Moore says, go to bed. Work can be done in the morning. This guy doesn't want to stop.
Great story, Jenny. Thank you so much. First down at the 13. Simmons. Oh, he's got his receiver at the 40. Vinny Anthony.
I've been telling you, these Michigan corners have been sitting on the routes. Nothing has been down the field, so it's a double move, an out and then an up. Zeke Berry bit on that out route, and then they've got space to go down the field. Good adjustment by Vinny Anthony. That ball just underthrown a bit, and he's able to get back inside and secure the catch.
And that is a gain of 29 yards. Longest play of the game so far for the Badgers. Anthony, 7 catches for 77. Dupree in now. And running back, he's the pistol. They give it to him over the right side with a lane. And wrestled down after a 4-yard gain.
Gotta love that answer right out of the gate from this Wisconsin team. They had 3 first downs over their last 7 drives. And they come right out with that shot to Vinny Anthony. He's able to adjust, get the catch, and then a positive gain on first down. That's more of what we saw in the first series when they were able to go down the field and score a touchdown.
Second down and 6 after the 4-yard run at the 44. Dupree, single setback. Simmons, deep drop, lets it fly. He's got a man. Oh, picked up. Guess who? Ron Moore. He came flying across the field. They missed it. The hero in the Ohio State win a couple of years ago. Picking off Kyle McCord. That knee looked good.
They talk about his instinct. Here's Rod Moore, deep middle of the field, and he's just going to read the eyes, see him float and float. The ball gets cut loose, and there he goes. Underthrown. Michigan maybe gets away with a little contact right there from Jair Hill. That certainly could have drawn a flag, but Moore was there. Luke Fickell is pointing up at the big screen right now, screaming at the officials, spitting at the officials, saying there was contact early, and I don't disagree.
First turnover of the game. Michigan with the football. First down, Haynes. And Curtis with the tackle. We'll get one.
Well, now's the time to be aggressive if you're Michigan, because the run game just has not done much. You look at what they've been able to do on the ground. Haynes picked up 43 yards on the long run on the very first series. Their next 19 carries went for 47 total yards, 2.5 per carry. What they did on that last series, they threw the football Underwood to some of those wide receivers, more specifically Donovan McCulley.
Second down and 9 at the 18. Underwood, sideline, and caught by McCulley. It takes time, doesn't it, Joel, but it's still very early in the season for receivers and quarterbacks, just the offense to really get going.
Yeah, I mean, it always does. Plus, you know, remember in college football, you don't have preseason, right? So you don't have those games to iron things out. So a lot of times, in particular with a young team, in particular with a team that's struggling up front and rotating guys on the offensive line, it's going to take a little time to gel.
Third down and 3 at the 24. Here's the delay. First down. And it's Haynes again. Look at him move. Justice Haynes picks up 23 yards. His dad was a star running back. Vernon at Georgia and with the Steelers.
What I love is they invite the rush up the field, which Wisconsin has been aggressive up the field, and it's a little delay, almost a draw over to that right side. Bredesen lets the end go up the field. He gets up to the linebacker, and then Haynes is free into the secondary.
14 carries, 90 yards. He's averaging 6.4 yards per carry for Justice Haynes. First down at the 47. Play fake. Underwood with time. Now Underwood under pressure. Underwood turns a corner. Oh! Bell dropped it.
passes again for Michigan. That's their 14th on the year. This one is a tougher catch. There's no doubt. That was an absolute heater thrown behind Bell. He's trying to jump up and catch that one. Tough throw on the run for Underwood.
2nd down and 10. They'll run it this time with Haynes. It'll get to midfield. And this may be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
You can just see the difference in this offense. You know, this is the first time we've gotten a chance to see Michigan this year. Last year offensively, they just didn't have much. You know, they were one of the worst passing teams in the country, and it has changed because of that man right there, Bryce Underwood. Sling it around in the 3rd quarter. Donovan McCulley, huge drive, put it in the end zone. Michigan up 10, 17-7.
Mr. Brightside, folks, watch this one. Big News Saturday sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Guys, today. Yeah. College football. Let's play 4th quarter ball. Wisconsin, Michigan, 3rd down and 6 for the Wolverines, 17-7. Underwood looking over the middle, caught, and it's McCulley again. Mr. Brightside is just like being in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's like their version of jump around.
Right,
yeah, that's right. Right at the start of the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
And guess who's Mr. Brightside today?
That's right.
Donovan McCulley.
Look at you.
And Donovan McCulley getting featured here in the last few series. And again, we've been talking about this. You know, they need answers on offense. What happens when the run game isn't going? Can you throw the football? These wide receivers have stepped up.
1st down at the 36. Underwood out wide. Morgan this time in space, and Morgan will pick up a few before being chopped down. Attacking Curtis there again. He's been wonderful today. The junior USC transfer.
Yeah, he has been flying around. He's got the green sticker, so he's the communications guy on that defense, Tackett Curtis. And Morgan is a fast player for Michigan, so to chase him down sideline to sideline is quite an effort.
2nd and 8. Here's a reverse, and Morgan gets down the sideline. Wisconsin had a chance to make a play.
That was Rager again. Mason Rager, how often have we called his name in the backfield? Watch Rager, he's going to just jump into the backfield. Here he is lined up as kind of a defensive tackle, defensive end, and then he's in the backfield, and Morgan does an incredible job to get away from him and gain positive yards.
He'll gain 6. 3rd down and 2 for the Wolverines. At the 28. Underwood sprints out on the move. That one high and incomplete.
Those are a position right there where you can tell the fans want him to go for it. Sherrod Moore pacing up and down on the sideline. Underwood wanting him to go for it. He's going to keep his offense on the field. That one just a little too much mustard. That's what I'm talking about, Gus, right there, changing the pace. You can't throw that fastball out there to the fullback quite that hard. Jalen Hoffman was the intended target.
4th down and 2 at the 28. Wolverines going for it. Low snap, and Underwood jumps on it, but Wisconsin will get the football back. Greg Cripp in the center. Did not snap that one well. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years.
Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, here in the second half, it's been the Donaven McCulley show. Led him on that last touchdown series. Rod Moore back from injury, and he gets a pick. Whole sidelines loving that one, celebrating with the veteran safety, and we stand at 17-7 here, Wolverines.
But Wisconsin with the football at their own 31. Simmons off his back foot, and nobody home. He had a lot of pressure in his face. Williams, Payne.
Hausman was in on that pressure, at least initially, and then the cavalry arrived. Like you said, a whole host of Wolverines getting in there. And Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, certainly dialing up a little bit more pressure here. And trying to get into the face of Hunter Simmons and not allow him to get comfortable here late in this game.
Hausman, what a great leader for this Michigan football team. Young man from Uganda, played at Nebraska. Here's a handoff to Dupree.
This Wisconsin offense, I just don't think they're going to be able to run the football right at Michigan and get back in this game. 10-point game, 2 possessions here. It's going to have to be Hunter Simmons, and then trying to find somebody on the outside that can win. The guy that's been most consistent today is Vinny Anthony. Vinny Anthony's got 7 catches for 75 yards.
Wisconsin trying to convert a third down for the first time since 4:47 of the first quarter. Low snap. Simmons and knocked down. Well done by Rob Moore again. No, make that Ernest Hausman.
Just drops back into coverage. Simmons wants that slant route, and Hausman is right there. I'm sure he's going to be thinking about that one tonight. He's like, oh my goodness, I could have picked that one off. You can tell he's jumping around after he batted that ball down.
So with 12:21 to play in the fourth, Wisconsin punting for the 8th time. Bertrams. Morgan from the 26 with the lane. Cuts it up inside. And will go down close to the 40. 38-yard punt. 15-yard return. Jackson Acker with the tackle on special teams. Welcome back to Ann Arbor. 12:11 to play. Fourth quarter. Wolverines and Badgers. First down and 10 at the 39 for Michigan. Underwood into the flats. Morgan with a seam, and will pick up a first down. I tell you, when he gets in space, he's dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. And what they're trying to do right now is equate numbers. What do I mean by that? Well, this is kind of an RPO one-on-one. You got 6 defenders, 5 blockers up front. Rather than just beat your head against the wall trying to run against that, why not read the defense, the linebacker and the corner? If they try to add defenders to stop the run, you pull that ball and you throw it on the outside to McCullen, makes one miss, and then there he is, and you get to dance in the end zone. So that's where Michigan is at right now and trying to equate those numbers.
First down to the 49. Haynes with a chance to go over 100 yards. Haynes dives forward. Picks up a first down. Allegro with the tackle. It's an 11-yard gain. Justice Haynes, how about this, folks, is the first Michigan running back to go over 100 yards in each of his first 5 games. He also has a TD in all 5 games as a Wolverine. Think about that and how long they've been playing football at Michigan.
He's been sensational. Guys like that, Blake Corum out on the sideline, just got a huge ovation here from the Big House faithful. Justice Haynes has been terrific, and he was a monster get in the transfer portal from Alabama.
16 carries, 104 yards. First down. Haynes on the edge this time. Nice little juke. And he'll go down at the 30. It's a gain of 8. Let's go downstairs to the AAG.
So I asked him yesterday, Gus, why did you want to come to Michigan? And he was quick to respond. It really was running backs coach Tony Elford. Now, we've known Coach Elford for so many years now. He described him as a father figure, a second dad to me. And I said, you know, what did he tell you when he wanted to come here? He said, I'm always going to coach you hard, but that's because I want the best for you. He is a detail freak. And then I pulled Coach Elford aside today, and I said, did you honestly know how good he was? He goes, I had no idea he was this fast.
Wow, 2nd and 2 at the 30. First down, and Coach Alford, what a great coach. Yeah, he had J.K. Dobbins, Travion Henderson, just to name a couple. Now Haynes here at Michigan.
And, you know, every one of his players described him the same way. And it was always starting with the care for the person. Tony's a terrific coach. There's no doubt. And by the way, this is a story for all you coaches out there, right? It's okay to come in second in recruiting. He didn't get him over at Ohio State. When he moved here to Michigan, Haynes goes in the transfer portal. Guess who his first call was? Tony Alford.
Wow. Wide open receiver at the 10. McCulley dives down at the 1. Wolverines now percolating on offense. 25-yard gain. First and goal. Wolverines want to play fast. Lining up from the 1.
There's that last pass. Put a little touch on this one, and then McCulley is going to climb the ladder and go up high. We've seen him do that a couple of times. Turns and gets down inside the 2-yard line. You know, what I've loved about Michigan so far today is it hasn't been perfect the whole day, but they've had answers, places to go with their offense, passing the football, getting on the perimeter. Now we see the run starting to increase.
Defense, number 0, half the distance to go, first down.
You know, and that's not what they had a year ago, Gus. I mean, if we're being honest, right? And the answers are there. In order to be a great college football team, you have to have answers and balance in the way that you're going to attack. I think that man right there, Bryce Underwood, gives them that ability.
He's the answer.
To be more balanced all around.
McCulley has been terrific in this game. Look at the numbers. First down and goal at the 1 for the Wolverines. Haynes, the deep man. They give it to Justice. And looks like a touchdown. And it is. Touchdown, Michigan. Justice Haynes does it again.
It's initially defended pretty well, but watch the second effort for Haynes. Haynes is going to get over here on the left side, and he's going to get hit right here. Kind of runs into Bredesen, but then the effort to get back to the right and stay behind his pads, the power to finish for the end zone. 23 now unanswered points for the Michigan Wolverines, and the answers in the second half. Outside, inside, power game, touch with the ball on the outside. It's been very good.
Zapata with the extra point, and it's good. 6 plays covering 61 yards. Justice Haynes got a budding star here in Ann Arbor. The Big Ten is on a heater, folks. Good luck trying to stop it. Michigan and Ohio State have won the last 2 national championships, and this season Ohio State and Oregon hold the top 2 spots in the AP poll. But don't forget about Indiana and Penn State. The Big Ten is responsible for half of the teams in the AP top 8. 24-7. And the Wolverines send it away. The ranked Big Ten teams, partner, a lot of them.
There are. And I got to tell you, you know, we saw Illinois last week come up with a big win over USC. I was impressed with them bouncing back after that loss to Indiana. Michigan continues to impress me because of how they're developing and the balance they're showing on offense. And Indiana continues to just kind of be this overlooked, underrated team at 5-0. Curt Cignetti has done an incredible job at Indiana. And then you got the big boys up at the top. I think the best 2 teams in America are probably Ohio State and Oregon.
Here's Simmons rolling out. And is this a catch? Yes, it is. Vinny Anthony again. Vinny Anthony has been turning some heads today. Tell you what. And when you look at those teams that you saw ranked, don't forget about USC. They were ranked last week. And Mike Locksley doing a great job at Maryland.
He's doing a terrific job. By the way, Washington is a better team than people believe. You know, that there's a certain conference that gets a bump just because, and like all of their teams get ranked, and we don't know if they're any good or not. They're all just, you know, play tough games. And the same type of benefit of the doubt is not given to the Big Ten down at the bottom.
First down and 10 at the 41, and it's Kekahuna. Nice run after the catch as well. He gets 20.
Saw a little of this in that first drive, and now they're finally getting back to it. These short routes just right in the middle of the field. Kekahuna does a great job of not only stopping in that soft area of the zone, but immediately once he catches that ball, he gets himself upfield, gets the line to gain, and moves the chains.
First down and 10 at the 39. Hunter Simmons has been solid. Simmons. Nice throw, good catch. Vinny again. This time for 6.
I've seen development from this Wisconsin team so far today, because I think offensively this has been one of their better games. You know, we have not seen much from them against their FBS opponents, Alabama and Maryland, offensively. And now they bring in Hunter Simmons, start as their third-string quarterback to begin the year. But he gives them some life, and I think it's because of his ability to throw the ball. He's thrown it decent at times here today, and then they've had a couple of guys step up, namely Vinny Anthony. Kekahuna's got a couple of catches in there. Mason as well.
Simmons, 14 of 23, 158. He's thrown one pick. Here he is again. Out wide, and this time it's Jaquel Crowdus with the reception. No gain.
I think this drive is indicative of just the fight in this program. I got to give Luke Fickell a lot of credit and these players and coaches. It's been a tough couple of weeks. The losses to Bama and Maryland, obviously frustrating times, trying to get healthy, trying to rebuild on the offensive line, but they don't quit. And I got to tell you, I like the trajectory of what they're trying to build. I hope they're given the time to build what they think they can build here, in particular getting more offensive linemen.
He may have found his quarterback. Third down and 4 at the 33. Simmons. Incomplete. Looks like some miscommunication. Vinny Anthony was the target, but Wisconsin may go for it this time.
Yeah, I think that they will, and I think you called it accurately there, partner. It looked like Vinny Anthony just drifted up the field, and Hunter Simmons thought he was going to sit right down in that zone. But here on fourth down, I think you've got to try to find a way to get one of those two guys the ball. Tretch Kekahuna or Vinny Anthony. They've been their most reliable players so far here today.
Fourth down and 4 at the Michigan 33 for Wisconsin. Dylan Jones in the backfield. Hunter Simmons under pressure. Oh, what a catch. Grant Stack, give me that. A gain of 8 on fourth down and 4.
Pressure bearing down on Simmons right in the middle of that pocket. It was Derek Moore. That was an incredible catch. Just reaching out. Look at that. Give me that rock. I'll tell you what. That's the way to do it, big fella. Grant Steck with a great grab. And a sigh of relief from his head coach.
Chains keep moving for Wisconsin. Trips at the bottom of your screen. First down at the 26. They hand it off. Jones with space. And Jones will be taken down inside the Michigan 20. After a 7-yard gain, Mason Curtis with the tackle.
Been a nice answer on this drive. Throwing the football from Simmons early has now softened the defense up. There they get a nice first down run. Create a second and manageable here for this offense.
Simmons 5 for 6 on the drive. Second and 3. Dupree. And he gets knocked backwards after crossing the line of scrimmage. Etta.
Roll up that pile.
It's a gain of 2.
Boy, I tell you, Etta, that was some power in there from the defensive tackle, 6'5", 320 pounds. He's going to jog off the field. They'll get fresh bodies in there as Trey Pierce and Damon Payne will jog onto the field in the interior of that defense here on a 3rd and short.
3rd down and 1 at the 17. Simmons. Sideline. Oh, a nice catch. This time it's Jackson Acker. He picked that one right up off the carpet. Gains 5 on 3rd and 1.
And he was basically backpedaling right here. He's backpedaling, and he's able to keep that ball off of the turf and grab that ball before Rolder can contact him and try to jar that one loose. Beautiful catch on that. A couple of really great catches from the fullback and the tight end here on this drive for Wisconsin.
They may take another look at this. 24-7. Michigan actually calls timeout. Back after this. 24-7. Michigan, 4:42 to play in the 4th quarter. Wisconsin driving the football. Play of the drive coming up. Has started at the Wisconsin 25. First down at the 12. And a handoff. Acker.
Great ball fake here to Acker.
He faked me out, I'll tell you that.
And then it comes out here on the outside, but it did not fake out TJ Guy. Guy was right in the face of Simmons, and they just had to burn it there. Good defense in the back end by that secondary, but more specifically TJ Guy off the edge.
2nd and 10. Simmons. Dancing underneath. Nice throw. And a catch made. Beautifully done. This time Lance Mason. He'll get 7.
Still get a first down inside the 2. That pass rush slowing down just a little bit, isn't it? Simmons has got some time to throw.
They've been on the field for quite some time, that defense. Wink Martindale, the Michigan defensive coordinator. 3rd down and 3 at the 5. Dupree. Lone setback.
False start. Offense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. They're down.
Gary Kadonko, the right guard 73. He's just trying to take off. He's clearly early. From our vantage point, you can see the Michigan sideline perfectly. Sharon Moore and Wink Martindale just immediately started jumping up and down, yelling for that flag, and that'll back them up.
3rd down and 8 at the 10. Hunter Simmons trying to lead the Badgers into the end zone. Simmons looking in trouble. They're gonna Derek Moore. A loss of 12.
We've seen him rush from the inside, so he's just coming inside, and then he's going to get right in the face of Simmons right there, and Simmons has nowhere to go with the ball. Moore has been all over the place today in the backfield. Looks like Rayshon Benny also in there with him, and Wisconsin will have to settle for a field goal.
So Nathaniel Vakos comes in to attempt a 39-yarder. First field goal attempt of the day. And it's good. 24-10. Back after this. 24-10 our score. Wisconsin gets the 3 points. 2:43 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Almost certainly you're going to get an onside kick here from Wisconsin. Still a 14-point game. Need this ball back as quickly as possible. Try to get down into the end zone and then do it all over again.
Veikos. Here's your onside kick. It's tipped and recovered by the Wolverines. Channing Goodwin with the ball. And Michigan secures it.
Boy, that one was dangerous. Watch Bell. Kendrick Bell is going to go up and he actually tips that ball. Then he gets hit hard. Channing Goodwin was able to recover that ball for Michigan. That was a really well-executed onside kick from Wisconsin. That ball gets up in the air, and anything can happen. And Goodwin with great concentration there to recover.
Bryce Underwood back on the field. 18 of 27, 264. Good numbers for Underwood. He's thrown a touchdown, no interceptions. First down at the 43. And they'll hand it off to Marshall, who gets some between the tackles yardage. Gain of 4.
Surprised Wisconsin's not using their timeouts now. They'll have the 2-minute timeout. Obviously, Michigan is in control here. I don't know why he's not calling a timeout. I mean, he could save himself a bunch of plays. You can force him to snap the ball. More often, they've got the 2-minute timeout still in their pocket as well. 4 times are attempts to stop the clock, but just a lot of time. Been an offensive explosion from Michigan here in the fourth quarter. Donovan McCulley, Justice Haynes into the end zone. Michigan up 14, 24-10.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Wendy's. Get Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal. Limited time only. Today, the ALDS begins with 2 huge game ones. Coming up next, Aaron Judge and the Yankees battle Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Jays. Then at 8 on FS1, the Tigers take on this year's home run king, Cal Raleigh, and the Mariners. Game 1 of the ALDS today on Fox and FS1. Second down and 6 at the 39-yard line for Michigan. Here's Marshall trying to get outside and will not. Stood up and driven down. He will get back to the line of scrimmage. Hill, Deani Hill, finally brings him to the turf.
Fickell not taking his timeouts now? I don't understand what's going on. Does he want to keep his on? The time is the fact he needs 2 possessions. He needs to save as much time as possible. I was surprised he didn't take timeouts after the first down. Now he's just letting it drive. I don't understand this.
Third down and 4 at the 37. Underwood. Plus some trickery there. Wow. Marshall, first down.
Jordan Marshall. Seen that concept a couple of times in the second half. A little bit of a delay. Saw Haynes with a nice run there, Marshall, and he's able to move the chains. And Wisconsin, I think, just going to let this one roll out. Keep their 3 timeouts in their pocket. He could have called his 3 timeouts. If they would have gotten a stop, they could have gotten the ball back with about 2:20 left. They're not going to call anything right now. Just ride this one out to a loss.
Michigan favored by 16.5. And out wide, it's Morgan. And he'll go out of bounds at the 25.
Can't go out of bounds there.
Justice Haynes, what a day. 19 carries, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. Underwood, career high, 264 yards passing. Michigan, 6 plays of 23 or more yards today. McCulley has 3 of them. Here's another run. Marshall trying to get into that end zone, and he'll go down at the 5.
Jordan Marshall, the ball carrier.
I don't think Luke Fickell wants to stop the clock, and I'm surprised they're going faster. This is fascinating.
And a handoff. Marshall again. Michigan playing until the final whistle. 8 seconds to go, and that should be the last play of the game. And it is 24-10 the final. Sharon Moore returns, and his Wolverines defeat Wisconsin. Bryce Underwood, solid day. 27th consecutive home win versus unranked teams for Michigan. But an interesting sequence at the end.
There's a lot going on there. I can't believe Wisconsin didn't take any timeouts. They fought so hard there at the end, and then to just let the clock run out, that was surprising. And then Michigan knows that they're just going to let the game roll out, and they're trying to go tempo to score. There was a lot, like I said, there was a lot going on right there.
What are your thoughts about that?
Well, hold off on that.
Okay. All right. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
All right, guys, thank you. Sharon Moore, congratulations on the win today. It felt like at the half, there were adjustments you wanted to make. So how did you feel the team grew into this performance and getting the win?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I thought defensively was outstanding. The first drive, we just missed we missed some tackles there and definitely adjusted. Offensively, the first quarter was good, and we went into a sputter, right? And really, the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, it looked like the type of ball we wanted to play. You got really good teams you're facing. This is a really good football team, sound football team, but we got to be better as we go into each game to play complete football.
Now we're going to keep asking you about Bryce and his overall performance and the way he was able to really grow. What stood out?
Yeah, I mean, just the poise, right? The poise that he has when it's not going the way you want it. He just does a really good job of staying together, staying the course, and not panicking. And you're really proud to coach him when he does that. Justice
Haynes, another day over 100 yards rushing and the touchdown. How happy are you that he's here at Michigan?
I'm elated. I feel sorry for the team that they let him go, but I'm glad that he's here. Another 100-yard rushing game, and he just continues to perform at a high level. And I don't know if we had the 50-yard run we've had, that streak might be ended, but another 100-yard game, we're proud of that.
Congrats, Coach. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, the final score here in Ann Arbor. Michigan 24, Wisconsin 10. Your final thoughts?
I'll tell you, they got a quarterback here that gives them a real chance, don't they? Underwood, 200 yards in the second half. And Donovan McCulley. That guy can play on the outside.
All right. Coming up next on Fox, it's the start of the baseball division series with game 1 of the New York Yankees at the Toronto Blue Jays. Right after this, for Mike Barrera, the All-American girl, my quarterback, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from Ann Arbor.